When I moved to the fort in the summer of 1981, the first place I took my kids was Cottonwood Park. I still recall that day, where there were 6, as best I remember, green Teseda trucking log trucks lined up side by side for a photo shoot. I didn't know who David Hoy was at the time. I didn't know anyone in town then. But over the next 10 years, I watched K&D Contracting, now Meraki Resources, grow from those 6 trucks to be a major player in the BC forest industry. My love for Cottonwood Park has never wavered since that day in 1981, and I consider Cottonwood Park and Cottonwood Beach to be the jewel of our community. In my opinion, no other northern community has the aesthetic appeal of Fort St. James, with Cottonwood Park and Cottonwood Beach smack dab at their center. The district's ongoing failure to recognize the historical and cultural significance of Cottonwood Beach as the gathering place for the Nakaslii people and the residents of Fort St. James is most troubling, as Council defines their vision for Spirit Square as transforming it into a center for special events and gatherings, and again in their Marina project proposal as creating spaces for community gathering and celebration. The district did recently approve $40,000 to fund a new concept plan for Cottonwood Park, in which Stantec will show them where the swimming area rope should be placed and what a new stage bandstand might look like, while continuing to move forward on their who knows how many $1 million Spirit Square vanity project. Written accounts of the fur trade in New Caledonia generally begin with Sir Alexander Mackenzie in 1793. However, pictograph rocks paintings can be seen in 21 locations on the north shore of Stewart Lake between Fort St. James and Pinchy Bay. The people of Nakaslii Wuten, have lived in this area for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and the traditional economy of the decade was based on fishing rather than on fur trapping. After the settlers' arrival and the establishment of the Northwest Company Trading Post in Fort St. James in 1806, fur trapping became the mainstay of the Fort St. James and area economy, and the Fort St. James location was chosen as 3 indigenous pathways converged towards the Nakaslii village of the Dakai Nation, established on the shores of the current Stewart Lake. Just how much history can you squeeze into one location? You can be sure that one of Canada's greatest explorers, Sir Alexander Mackenzie, landed at Cottonwood Beach in 1793 on his historic journey to the Pacific Ocean. Cottonwood Beach would most certainly have welcomed Simon Fraser and John Stewart when they founded Fort St. James as a Northwest Company trading post in 1806. Our Lady of Good Hope Church has stood watch over the Dakai people since it was built at Cottonwood Beach in 1873. Cottonwood Beach has the dubious honor of being the site of the first residential school in northern British Columbia, operated by the Catholic Church from 1917 until the opening of the infamous LeJac Residential School at Fraser Lake in 1922. Stewart Lake Lumber, Fort St. James' largest employer at the time, operated a sawmill at the Cottonwood Beach site during the 50s and 60s. And since 2013 and coming full circle, Cottonwood Beach is now the home to the Nacklebun Elementary School, a certified independent school operated by Nakaslii Wuten. So much more could be done with Cottonwood Park and Cottonwood Beach. However, there's an elephant in the Cottonwood Park room. The district doesn't own all of the land between Cottonwood Park and the district campsite. Here's a map of the area, and you can clearly see that there are 4 lots smack dab in the middle. Stewart Lake Lumber would have owned most of Cottonwood Beach for their sawmill operation, and these 4 lots are what is left of their property holdings and are now owned by the Goodwin family. Imagine the public outcry if a condo development was proposed for that site. Few members of the public even know about the private ownership of this land. I think it goes without saying that this land must be under public ownership, and there is little that can be done to further develop the Cottonwood Park, Cottonwood Beach site until that happens. The current council has, by their actions and inaction, made it perfectly clear that Cottonwood Park is not their priority. So it would certainly be a stretch to think that they would speak to the Goodwin family about the possibility of the purchase of the lots. The BC assessment values for the 4 lots are $140,000, $139,000, and 2 at $136,000 for a total of $551,000, which is not much more than the $500,000 the district has spent to date on their Spirit Square project. At this late date in the current council's term, it is highly unlikely that their position on Cottonwood Park will change, and it will be up to the new council that is elected on October 17, 2026, to move Cottonwood Park up on the district's importance list and initiate a conversation with the Goodwin family.